Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to make general revision on the syllabus. We are going to discuss different types of questions and problems, and we are going to write the chemical equations during solving the questions, symbolic balanced equation, and you have to write the physical state of reactants and product, and to write the units for measurement while solving the problems. So let us start. Write the alphabetical letter for the suitable choice. When heating iron 3 hydroxide to higher than 200 degrees Celsius produces what? Iron 2 oxide, magnetic iron oxide, iron 3 oxide, iron 2 hydroxide. If you think about it, yes, it will be iron 3 oxide. Next point, the metal which doesn't react with hydrochloric acid is what? Zinc, cadmium, mercury, copper. Yes, the answer it will be copper. Paramagnetic property show in element iron and what? Copper, manganese, zinc, cadmium. If you think about it, yes, it will be manganese. Next point, when adding silver nitrate solution to sodium iodide solution, the formed precipitate is what? Yellow, white, black, purple. If you think about it, yes, it will be yellow. Next point, white greenish precipitate is formed when add sodium hydroxide solution to what solution containing ions? Iron 3 ions, or copper ions, or iron 2 ions, or aluminum ions. If you think about it, yes, it will be iron 2 ions. Next point, when adding 10 milliliter of 1 molar hydrochloric acid to 10 milliliter of 1 molar calcium hydroxide, then adding litmus solution to the color solution becomes red, blue, orange, purple. Yes, the answer it will be blue. Next point, reaction rate is directly proportional to what? Mass of product, concentration of reactant, concentration of product, nature of the reactant. If you think about it, yes, it will be concentration of the reactant. Next point, the increase in the pressure of the reaction leads to shift the equilibrium toward the large number of moles, high temperature, low temperature, the small number of moles. Yes, the answer it will be the small number of moles. The solution is basic when the concentration of hydrogen ion less than hydroxide ion, if it is equal concentration of hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion, or less than hydroxide ion, or equal or more than hydroxide ion. So the answer it will be when the concentration of hydrogen ion is less than concentration of hydroxide ion. Next point, ammonium chloride solution is what solution? Is it alkaline, acidic, buffer, neutral? If you think about it, yes, it will be acidic solution. Next point, 2NO2 gives 2N2O4 plus heat. In the previous reaction, when cooling the product become colorless, reddish brown, pale green, yellow. Yes, the answer it will be colorless. When 9650 column pass in molten calcium chloride solution, the precipitate calcium mass equal 40 gram, 20 gram, 4 gram, 2 grams. If you solve it, yes, the answer it will be 2 gram. Next point, the strongest oxidized agent in the following types is what? As given, standard reduction potential is given in volt in between bracket. Cadmium positive 2 plus 2 electrons gives cadmium, and here the reduction potential negative 0.4 volt, and Br2 plus 2 electrons gives 2 Br negative and reduction potential positive 1.09, and sulfur plus 2 electron gives sulfide ion and reduction potential negative 0.48. Bi positive 3 plus 3 electrons gives bismuth and reduction potential 0.2. If you think about it, so the answer, my dear student, Br2 plus 2 electrons gives 2 Br negative with reduction potential positive 1.09 volt. Next point, during the formation of a standard galvanic cell of copper and hydrogen, the reaction happens at the copper electrode is reduction reaction. the reduction potential of the hydrogen is greater than the reduction potential of copper, the electrons flow from the hydrogen and the reaction occurs. Copper plus 2H negative gives Cu positive plus 2 and hydrogen is released. So the answer, my dear student, it will be the reaction happens at the copper electrode is a reduction reaction. My dear student, next point, the electrolytic solution is electrically neutral because the number of cations equals the number of anions in the solution. The positive charge of the cation equals the negative charge of anion. Because the solvent has the ability to separate the cations from the anions, because the sum of the positive charges of the cations equals the sum of negative charges on the anion. If you think about it, yes, the answer it will be because sum of the positive charges and the cations equal the sum of the negative charges on the anions. Next point, one of the following metals can be found at the nature in elementary state. Standard reduction potential between brackets are given. Na negative 2.7 volt, Al negative 1.67 volt, Zn negative 0.76 volt, Cu positive 0.34 volt. If you think about it, yes, the answer it will be copper with reduction potential 0.34 volts. Next point, given that the standard reduction potential of each of the Eg positive, Cu positive 2, lead positive 2, zinc positive 2 are respectively 0.8, 0.34, negative 0.13, negative 0.76 volt, the metal which is covered by the another metal layer as a result of submerging it in the solution is when copper submerged in zinc sulfate solution, when silver submerged in the lead nitrate solution, when lead submerged in copper chloride solution, when lead submerged in zinc sulfate solution. If you think about it, yes, it will be when lead submerged in copper chloride solution. Next point, the IUPAC name of the compound that's shown on the screen, is it 1-methyl 3-ethyl cyclopentane, 1-ethyl 3-methyl cyclopentane, 2-ethyl 4-methyl cyclopentane, 1-ethyl 4-methyl cyclopentane. If you name it, my dear student, so the name will be 1-ethyl 3-methyl cyclopentane. Next point, the function group in ketones is what? Halogen, hydroxyl, amine, carbonyl. If you think about it, yes, it will be carbonyl. Next point, the alkyl halide which is used as an anesthetic substance is fluorobentane, halothane, vinyl chloride, chlorofluorocarbon. So if you think about it, yes, it will be halothane. Next point, the general formula of amines are NH2, RCONH2, RNO2, RCOOR. If you think about it, yes, it will be RNH2. Next point, reaction of two different organic materials to form a huge organic compound. Is it condensation, reduction, oxidation, or neutralization or substitution? If you think about it, yes, it will be condensation. Next point, the conversion of the alcohol to alkene is what reaction? Is it dehydration, condensation, dehydrogenation, neutralization? If you think about it, yes, it will be dehydration. The presence of high concentration of electrons of double bond or triple bond in the condition for what kind of reaction? Is it removal, addition, condensation, neutralization? Yes, if you think about it, it will be addition. Next point, the catalyst used in hydrogenation of alkenes is ammonium nitrate, platinum powder, aluminum chloride, silver nitrate. If you think about it, yes, it will be platinum powder. Next point, organic polymers is considered a form amino acid linked together in a certain arrangement. Is it amines, proteins, amides, other? If you think about it, it will be protein. Next point, it consists of two combined molecules, glucose and fructose, lactose, galactose, sucrose, maltose. If you think about it, it will be sucrose. Ethylene glycol can be obtained from the reaction of ethene with what? potassium permanganate solution in alkaline medium, hydrogen peroxide, ammonium cyanate, A and B together. If you think about it, yes, it will be A and B together. 0.001 molar solution of sulfuric acid has pH equal what? 2.7, 3, 0, 11. If you think about it, yes, it will be 2.7. Next point, when adding iron C chloride solution to carbolic acid, what is formed? Is it green color, orange color, violet color, no color change? If you think about it, it will be violet color. Next point, when heating ethane with 1 chlorine molecule at 400 degrees Celsius, what is produced? Is it ethyl chloride, dichloroethane, carbon, trichloroethane? If you think about it, it will be carbon. The number of hydrogen atoms in alkane which molecular mass equal 58 gram is what number of atoms? Where the atomic mass of carbon is 12 and the atomic mass of hydrogen equal 1. 5, 10, 7, 8. If you solve it, my dear student, yes, it will be 10. Next point, phenol phthalate turns red in the hydrolysis of what salts? Ammonium chloride solution, sodium chloride solution, sodium carbonate solution, ammonium carbonate solution. Yes, the answer it will be sodium carbonate solution. Next point, BOH for hydrolysis of sodium acetate solution. More than 7, less than 7, equal 7, equal 8. If you think about it, yes, it will be less than 7. Next point, the scientist who discovered the structure formula of benzene is what? Bayer, Berzelius, Kickel, Davy. If you think about it, yes, it will be Kickel. Next type of question, my dear students. Give reason for the following. 1 bromopropane is not formed on adding hydrobromic acid to propene. If you think about it, yes, the answer it will be because positive hydrogen ion is added to the carbon atom attached to more hydrogen atom, and bromide ion is added to the carbon atom that attached to less hydrogen according to Markovnikov rule. So the equation of the reaction will be CH3, CH double bond CH2 plus HBr gives CH3, CHBr, CH3. Next point, phenol has more acidic property than alcohol. Due to the existing of the benzene ring, which attracts the electrons from the oxygen atom, which facilitate the hydrogen removing from the hydroxyl group. Next point, during petroleum refining, thermal catalytic cracking takes place. My dear student, thermal catalytic cracking used to convert the less useful chain compounds into 2 short chains. One saturated alkane used to fulfill the world needs of fuel, and the other short chain is alkene used in polymerization. Next point, the rate of reaction increases by increasing temperature. My dear student, as the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the molecule increases, and so the rate of collision between molecules increases, and the rate of breaking bonds increases, and the rate of chemical reaction increases. Next type of question, my dear students, how can you determine the concentration of sodium hydroxide solution by using 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid? Here, my dear students, the steps: put 25 milliliter of sodium hydroxide into a conical flask using pipette, then adding 2 drops from phenol phthalate, so the color of the solution turns red. Then add hydrochloric acid from the burette until the color of the solution turns colorless. The observation: the volume of added hydrochloric acid at the end point equal 21 milliliter. So the calculation steps: the number of moles of HCl equal concentration times volume, so equal 0.1 times 21 over 1000, so equal 2.1 times 10 to the power negative 3 mole. So from the reaction equation, HCl plus NaOH gives NaCl plus H2O. So as 1 mole of HCl reacts with 1 mole of sodium hydroxide, so 2.1 times 10 to the power negative 3 mole of HCl reacts also with 2.1 times 10 to the power negative 3 mole of sodium hydroxide. Since the volume of sodium hydroxide 25 milliliter, so 25 times 10 to power negative 3 in liter. So the concentration of sodium hydroxide equal number of moles over volume. So 2.1 times 10 to power negative 3 over 25 times 10 to power negative 3 equals 0.084 mole per liter or molar. Next type of question. Write your objection on the following nomenclature. 1-chloro-4-butene. If you write the structure formula of this molecule, my dear student, and name the carbon compounds, we will find that the number of carbon atoms starts from the nearest to the double bond, so its name will be 4-chloro-1-butene. Next one, 2-ethyl-1-propene. So, my dear student, naming the carbon atom, so the name of the compound according to the IUPAC system, it will be 2-methyl-1-butene. Next point, 2-methyl-4-butene, naming the carbon atom according to the nearest carbon to double bond, so its name will be 3-methyl-1-butene. Next type of question, write the structure formula for each of the following. The product obtained of evaporating ammonium cyanate, as shown on the screen, my dear student, its compound is urea. Next point, the compound produced from the reaction between benzene and the methyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride, as shown on the screen, it will be toluene. Next point, the aromatic compound formed from the reaction of chlorine with nitrobenzene in the presence of catalyst, so it will be metachloronitrobenzene. Next type of question, my dear student, explain how the following scientists contributed to the development of science. Kekle, Berzelius. Kekle discovered the hexagonal cyclic shape of benzene in which the single and double bond between the carbon atoms are exchanged. Berzelius, he classified the chemical compounds into organic and inorganic compounds, and he considers vital force theory. Next type of question. Arrange the following organic compounds in an ascending order according to their boiling point. Ethylene glycol, sorbitol, glycerol, ethanol. If you arrange them, you will find ethanol less than ethylene glycol, less than glycerol, less than sorbitol. As the number of hydroxyl group increase, the boiling point increase, and also solubility in water increase. The next type of question, from the following substance and tools: acidified potassium permanganate, aqueous caustic soda, hydroiodic acid, propene, benzene flame, write the balanced chemical equation to obtain secondary aliphatic alcohol. Solution: as equation proceeds on the screen, propene plus hydrogen iodide or hydroiodic acid gives 2-iodopropane. Then alkaline hydrolysis of 2-iodopropane by sodium hydroxide aqueous gives 2-propanol and releasing sodium iodide. Name the obtained alcohol according to IUPAC system, so it will be 2-propanol. Show by symbolic equation the oxidation product of this alcohol. My dear student, as the equation proceeds on the screen, oxidation of 2-propanol, which is secondary alcohol, it gives ketone, which is acetone or propanone, and releasing 1 molecule of water. Next type of question, write the structure formula for each of the following. Pyrogallol, glycerol. Pyrogallol, benzene ring attached to 3 hydroxyl groups. Glycerol, as shown on the screen, 3 carbon atoms, each one contain hydroxyl group, so trihydric alcohol, as shown on the screen. Next type of question, which is problem, calculate the concentration of hydroxyl ion in 0.1 molar of ammonium hydroxide solution at 25 degrees Celsius, given that the equilibrium constant equal 1.7 times 10 to the power negative 5. Solution: the hydroxide ion concentration equal square root Kb times C, so equal square root 1.7 times 10 to the power negative 5 times 0.1, so equal 1.33 times 10 to the power negative 3 molar. Next type of question, the following reaction has reached the equilibrium state. H2 plus CO2 gives H2O plus CO, and delta H equal positive 41.1 kilojoule. What is the action of each of the following changes on the concentration of hydrogen gas? Adding excess of carbon dioxide gas, raising the temperature. The answer: if the temperature is raised, the concentration of hydrogen gas decreases. If excess carbon dioxide is added, the concentration of hydrogen gas decreases. Next type of question, my dear student. By using symbolic chemical equation only, explain what happens in the following cases. Adding iron 3 chloride to ammonium thiocyanate. As the equation proceeds on the screen, iron 3 chloride plus ammonium thiocyanate, it gives iron 3 thiocyanate, which is blood red color, and ammonium chloride is produced. Reduction of ethanoic acid. As the equation proceeds on the screen, the reduction of acetic acid in the presence of copper chromate at 200 degrees Celsius gives ethanol, and water is produced. The reaction of red hot iron with water vapor. As the equation proceeds on the screen, iron plus water vapor at 500 degrees Celsius, it gives magnetic iron oxide releasing hydrogen gas. The reduction of iron to oxide by using carbon monoxide gas. As the equation proceeds on the screen, FeO plus CO above 700 degrees Celsius, it gives iron and carbon dioxide. Next type of question, two elements A and B form a galvanic cell. Its EMF is 1.5 volt. Calculate the standard reduction potential of element A. Given that A is more active than B, and the standard reduction potential of element B is 0.7 volt. The answer: element A is more active than element B, so the value of the standard oxidation potential of A is higher than that of B. So A acts as anode while B acts as cathode. So the EMF equals the reduction potential of cathode B minus reduction potential of anode A. So 1.5 equals 0.7 minus X. So X equals negative 0.8 volt. Next type of question, explain using balanced equation. How can you obtain the following? Iron to sulfate from iron to oxide. As the equation proceeds on the screen, FeO plus H2SO4 dilute gives iron to sulfate plus water. Next point, ethylene glycol from ethine. As ethine hydrogenation by divided nickel gives ethene, then the bioreaction ethylene oxidation by the presence of potassium permanganate in alkaline medium, it gives ethylene glycol as shown on the screen. Next type of question, explain a practical experiment showing the effect of temperature on chemical reaction in a state of equilibrium. As shown on the screen, get a flask containing nitrogen dioxide gas which has a reddish brown color at room temperature. As shown on the screen, the equation 2NO2 reddish brown color on cooling gives N2O4 and heat, and by heating gives the reaction reverse. So when the flask is in hot water, it becomes dense brown color because the reaction shifts the backward direction, forming reddish brown nitrogen dioxide gas. And when the flask is cooled, it becomes colorless because the reaction shifts in the forward direction, forming colorless dinitrogen tetroxide as shown on the screen. Next type of question, what is meant by the standard solution? It is a solution of known concentration which is used to identify the concentration of another solution. Next type of question, from the following substances and tools: acidified potassium permanganate, aqueous caustic soda, hydroiodic acid, propene, benzene flame, write the balanced chemical equation to obtain the secondary aliphatic alcohol. Solution: CH3CH double bond CH2 plus HICH3. Then the CH3CHI CH3 plus KOH aqueous and heat gives CH3CHOH CH3 plus Ki. Name the obtained alcohol according to the isobac system. The name of the alcohol, it will be 2-propanol. Next point, show by symbolic equation the oxidation product of the alcohol. As shown on the screen, 2-propanol on oxidation by potassium permanganate acidified, it gives acetone and water is produced. Next type of question, how can you differentiate practical